it's so insignificant. It doesn't fucking. What matters, right? Is this assist, goals, table position. That's all that matters. I think we both said United will win. I think it's a fucking shambles now, man. I think, in my opinion, this is not Ollie. This is not an Ollie out situation. This is as Ever said a few weeks ago. A few players need a slap. You know. I'll say again. What's going on, guys? This is the 5 Yard Pass podcast with me, Suddy, and this is Shyam. And as always, we are reviewing the weekend's work by the 20 Premier League teams. Great and exciting weekend. But just before we get on to the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to us. We're a growing channel. We love talking about football, and I think that we like to keep football chat as simple as possible. But as we start, how's it going, Shyam? I know it's been a busy week for you. Sorry.
Yeah, all good. Some interesting results in the Premier League on the weekend. It's really shaping up to be a very interesting season. But for Liverpool, as always, we've been talking here about how they need to fight and show resilience and get results, and they're clear at the top of the table. So the table is starting to take some shape with Liverpool, Leicester, Tottenham, Everton, sort of top four. Chelsea coming up. Yeah, so it's City at 10th, amazingly, but they got a game in hand. If they win the game in hand, they'll go, I think, 4th or something like that. So table is starting to take some shape finally. But it's interesting.
Definitely an exciting week. Couple of like choice games: Villa versus Southampton, 4-3, and Arsenal taking the Old Trafford virginity after 12 years. I think it's 12 or 13 years it was. It was a shit game to watch. I guess we'll start there then, if that's okay. We'll start with United Arsenal. I think we both said United will win. I think it's a fucking shambles now, man. I think, in my opinion, this is not an Ollie out situation. This is as Ever said a few weeks ago. A few players need a slap. You know.
It's weird because they've had 4 home games. They've drawn 1, lost 3. This is in the league. 4 home games, drawn 1, lost 3, and not looked like winning any of them. And then you include there are 2 away games they've won in the Premier League. One was fortunate against Brighton, but they've won Champions League games away, Cup games away. They've actually looked quite good away from home. And RB Leipzig at home in the Champions League. It's just home games in the Premier League seem to be really bad. Apparently, this is the third most points dropped in a season at home for United, and it's only their 4th game.
Yeah, look, I don't want to go overanalyze. I've always said, man, I hate stats. I hate these kind of little bits of stats, and when it goes down to like expected goals and all that fucking nonsense, I don't care for it. I used to watch Ronaldinho play and tear up Madrid defenses without fucking expected goals. But I will say, United at the minute, it's every 4 games it's Ollie out, and then he goes on a run, then it's Ollie out again. I think this team needs to wake up. But I do question the one thing in this selection. I do question, because I do think he wants to play Alex Telles, but he's got coronavirus. But I'm just wondering, every time Donny van Beek comes on, he's the best player on the pitch, man. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Why isn't he playing? And it's so frustrating to watch. And you're bringing him on in the 82nd minute. Yeah. I mean, what minute did they score? 56, 69th. Sorry. Okay. 69th minute. Why wasn't he on earlier to score a goal? United didn't look the worst. They were pressed very well, to Arsenal's credit. They were pressed incredibly. I've never seen Arsenal play like that. And that guy, Thomas Partey, is it Partey or Partey?
Partey.
Excuse me. Yeah, Thomas Partey. Patrick Viera. Patrick fucking Viera, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
what a player.
He's quality.
So good. Tall, 6'3", classy, maybe athletic. I don't know. He's got,
you look very
he's got it all, man. What do you think needs to happen for United right now? Do you think it's even quantifiable?
They're not really able to take the game to teams at the moment. It seems that they're still, when they've gone on runs of scoring lots of goals, if you look at the Leipzig game, Newcastle game, where they scored bunches of goals, it all seems in the counter-attack. Their ability to get the ball, hold on to the ball, and take the game to the other team is lacking there at the moment.
Yeah.
If you look at that diamond formation that they played, the fullbacks aren't too attacking. And that's, like you said, he'd rather, I think, have Telles in than Shaw. To have McTominay there in the diamond, sort of a bit out of position, sort of playing the right centre position. They only really had sort of Pogba, Fernandes, and the strikers who were attacking. Bissaka wasn't really moving forward as well much. They're lacking the ability at the moment to to take the game to the opposition. I remember when they played Sheffield United right out of that coronavirus break. They won 3-0 and they looked like they were taking the game to other teams, and they just don't seem to have that at the moment.
I disagree, man. I think Wan-Bissaka has done well to get forward. I think Luke Shaw is just not as fit as he should be. He's unfit. We've said like he's the Rooney type. He needs a string of games. He's got a string of games, man, and he still doesn't. He's still not fit. He's not the first choice anymore. Wan-Bissaka, even though he's not crossing, for me, the best one-on-one defender in the world. I don't think you get better than Wan-Bissaka.
I was talking about their attacking ability. You don't need.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. So my point is, at least
Roberto Carlos. But if you're having two fullbacks, one probably sits a bit deeper and one attacks a bit more. But which one?
My point to that is,
which one is that?
At least Wan-Bissaka offers something coming back, because he's always going to come back. You rarely get goals down that side of the pitch. In fact, the goal against Arsenal, the penalty was coming down from the left side, and Shaw was, wouldn't say caught out, but he wasn't going to get there fast enough. But Wan-Bissaka needs to improve his crossing. Okay, fine. But it's come to a point that that Shaw is done. For me, Shaw is now the second choice backup. Alex Telles has everything to prove. And he played against remind me, he played against Chelsea? No.
Sure.
It was after Tottenham. It was PSG, wasn't it?
Telles played against PSG. That was the one game he played.
No, sorry. Yeah, it was Telles. Yeah, it was PSG. And he was fucking brilliant, man. He had a Beckham-esque left foot. Beautiful. I mean, not Beck. I mean, Trent, if you talk about now, but Trent style left foot. I'd like to see him play.
Yeah.
On the topic of Arsenal, we've said it time and time again. Unfortunately, it's come at the sort of, at the head of United, but brilliant game. Absolutely. Just, I thought it was a tactical masterclass. They showed up after weeks of kind of very average performances. They showed up and they've beaten United at Old Trafford after 12 years. Gabriel Magalhaes was brilliant, the centre back. Kieran Tierney is like a Robertson. He's a Scottish left back, but has the same kind of attitude as him. They did really well. What do you think? Do you think this is a springboard for a top 4, top 3 Arsenal side?
I don't think they're quite there yet. I think perhaps they could be there at the end of the season, but I wouldn't look at this one game and say, yeah, they're top 4. I do think that they played well. I do think that, it's one thing for Arteta to go and give them a plan, but the players executed it very well. And you could tell even, I think the first 20 minutes, like you could just tell they were really on the game. United were not really on their game for a long time. I think Lindelof was probably United's best player. So when you send it back to your best player, you're struggling a bit. And they only really had probably the one chance, which was a quality ball from Rashford out to Greenwood. But I think Arsenal just kept the ball better. They won it better. They kept it better. And when you do that, you're going to win 9 games out of 10.
And I'll say it again. I'm sounding like a broken record, but I was so impressed with the press of Arsenal, with the defensive press. I thought it was incredible. 3 or 4 players just swarming on United players, and they said since Arteta has left Man City, they've kind of lacked that a little bit, lacked that kind of press and the potency. Yeah, since he's left Man City, and perhaps in some ways his kind of tutelage with Arsenal, being there every day, has changed them as a pressing side. Maybe this was, like you said, a plan for the day. But he's beaten City, he's beaten Liverpool, he's beaten United.
If it's a plan, they should stick to the plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're making steps in the right direction. I think Arsenal, where they will get unstuck is just having an ability again, probably to have a go at teams. I mean, the goal was a penalty. So like you can't say they created massive chances. I don't think De Gea was particularly busy during the game.
Yeah.
But Arsenal did play better. But in terms of being able to beat those teams on a regular basis, it's funny. On one side, you don't feel like they should, but on the other side, like you said, they've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Liverpool, they've beaten City, they've beaten United. Well, what can you say? Yeah. All
right. Well, that leaves, unfortunately, Leeds United languishing in the 15th. Arsenal tipped away into 9th. Look, it's 6-7 games in. It's coming out to a third of the season. United, before we carry on, United has to kind of get shit going, sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. They've got the game in hand, but that doesn't mean very much.
No, not anymore. It did if they won Arsenal. If they beat Arsenal, they go up to 3 points behind Liverpool if they won the game in hand, but it does in any minute. So, all right. So we move on to Liverpool, West Ham. Character. Liverpool's really showing a lot of character at the minute. They have a new guy came in, Nathaniel Phillips, and I thought who this guy was, man. he's 23. He's not particularly young. 23-year-old centre back from Stockport, I think it is, or Bolton. Bolton, sorry. Don't know why I got Stockport from. So he came to Liverpool last year, made one appearance, God knows when, went to Stuttgart on loan for 20 games. And he looked like he had played in that back line for about 10 years. He was immense. He was so good. Did you happen to catch his performance at all?
Not his performance, but probably the fact that he settled in there. And they gave away a soft goal at the beginning of the game.
Did, yeah.
We did make a comment about last video about how they win's important, and they did show a lot of character. But he slotted in, and that's a crucial piece of the puzzle for them, just to have a bit more depth there in the defense. So that's really worked out well. And it's kind of like his preparation going to Stuttgart and all of that. He's just had the opportunity at the right time and taken advantage of it. So well done to him. Liverpool had really hard to win that game. They're now, they're clear on the top now.
Yeah. And if you look at the stats as well, it wasn't an easy fight. 3 shots to 5. Liverpool a lot of the ball, but weren't doing much with it. And West Ham, as you know, they've been potent this year, and I mean, they're a point above United, but they've seemed to have these spikes of potency where losing against them wouldn't have been a huge surprise. So yeah, look, fair play United. Where do you think this leaves? So Liverpool now, they have Atalanta tonight, I think. They do, yeah. So they have a tough run of games. We're speaking about it in our group chat the other day, where they have, and in the last video, Atlanta, Man City. So this is in a row, by the way. Atlanta, Man City, Leicester, Atlanta. A break with Brighton, Ajax, Wolves. That's a tough run.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to give them immense confidence going into the next 5 or 6 games. Atlanta will be sticky because they can stick 3 or 4 past you. So you have to outscore Atlanta. Go into a game. I have to score 3 or 4 goals here. But
they're a high energy team too, Atalanta. Like they have a massive crack. They'll leave gaps at the back, but they will score goals.
Controlled chaos, I guess.
Yeah, controlled chaos is a good way to describe it.
Yeah,
you got controlled chaos versus game compressing, so that's an interesting one there. So that's probably a must watch if you're watching the Champions League. But yeah, I mean, even like it's a very difficult stretch of games. I don't recall. They've played Chelsea in the league. I don't think they've played too many of the other so-called big teams. So they've probably got them all in this patch now. So it will define their season. They've given themselves every chance to do really well this season, Liverpool, but it probably comes down to this month, really.
Yeah.
Get out of that Champions League group. If they can get through that game, and keep themselves in sort of that top 1, top 2, then it really sets their season up really nicely.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it seems at the minute, Thiago should be back after this game, after the Atlanta game. Matip should be back this week. But I mean, I love it. I love someone who comes up from kind of the I think everyone does, the underdog kind of coming to the ranks. And I'd love to see Helen Phillips get a run of games. Look, and if they go and beat Man City next week, Liverpool, that just stretches that. They stretch it to 8 points. But Man City still have a game in hand.
That would put, if they win next weekend against Man City, that puts massive. That's next weekend, right?
Yeah, next week.
Massive pressure on Guardiola. That puts massive pressure on Guardiola. That could break Man City. They're 10th in the table. I get they've got a game in hand, but they're just not looking the goods at the moment. And if Liverpool got a result, big question for Man City. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess we can move into Man City then. 1-0 Sheffield, in my opinion, fairly poor result. The stats reflect a kind of dominant, aggressive performance, but they relied on Kyle Walker to get the winner. I thought Sheffield played quite well. I watched this game. They played quite well. The keeper had an absolute blinder. Go watch. He made like 6 or 7 saves.
Yeah, it's very well. And that goal was right in the corner. Like he was about that close to getting something on it, the keeper, but really good finish by Kyle Walker. Yeah.
Man City for me just seem a bit stale at the minute. They have one of the best 11s in the world. That's no doubt about that. Some of the best individual players in the world. They just seem a bit stale. Pep seems to be running out of ideas a little bit.
The thing with watching their games, because I did watch that game, you're not hearing Raheem Sterling on the ball. You're not hearing Kevin De Bruyne on the ball. You're hearing Cancelo. You're hearing Mahrez. You're hearing probably the second choice player in the sense that
Yeah.
you want to be hearing Raheem Sterling running at the fence or Kevin De Bruyne getting the ball in dangerous positions. You're not hearing that enough. It almost seems to be the other players who are getting the ball in the dangerous positions, and they need to try and figure out how to get the ball to De Bruyne and Sterling more.
Yeah. And I think as well, in the way, for example, Sheffield's missing Dean Henderson big time. I have no doubt that Man City's missing David Silva. And just to highlight that, I know this. Real Sociedad is the top. Yeah, Real Sociedad is top of the league right now.
He's still
And
playing.
David Silva's there.
He's playing great guns for Sociedad. Yeah, he's still a top quality player. It was more his family situation. I think he lost a young child, right? So I think he's
no. He didn't lose his child. His daughter went underwent surgery. She survived. Thank God. But just look this up. I don't want to get this wrong. Just
the thing about Silva, I'll let you look up what you're looking at. But the thing about Silva is he did have moments of great quality where he could hit a beautiful pass, but he also hit a lot of very consistent passes. He wasn't someone who got the ball 10 times and made 10 magic passes. He was someone who got the ball 100 times and made 10 great passes.
He's a clock. He ticked the clock.
Very consistent, exactly what you need. Yeah, he's a TikTok Xavi type player, but he had the moments of brilliance. And they've lost that ability, I think, just to retain the ball, just that extra couple of passes that he gives.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, he's played between 40 and 50 games every season for City since 2010, and he's not scored more than 12 goals. So, I'd be curious to see, and I don't think his assists were great. He was kind of the man before the assist kind of thing. So,
Modric
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, huge game next weekend. Let me just confirm that with the there's an international break coming up. No, it is this weekend. It's this Sunday. Yeah, Man City, Tottenham, and even they have Liverpool and Spurs one after the other. Man City. So another tough 2 games for them. I guess we can preview that on Thursday, which I'm excited for because it's a good round of fixtures again. I mean, every round these days, great round to be honest. We'll kind of move on to what do you want? You want to talk about the Leeds game?
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so last night, 4-1. I watched the first half, and it was kind of it was 2-1.5. So it was 2.5 time. Excuse me. Very even game until the third goal went in. Vardy scored. Once again, we said it last week. The certainties in life. Jamie Vardy scoring. Leicester's there, man. They've arrived. I mean, I know they won the league.
They're second on the table. They're 1 point behind Liverpool. They look like they'll crack top 4. The problem I've got with them is that it's that counter-attacking strategy. It's that ability to all of their goals are from breaking in. I guess in America they call it transition, whereas we call it counter-attacking. They haven't got the ability to break low blocks because they don't have to. They play that very cynical sit back and we're going to hit you on the counter with Jamie Vardy's pace. But they just execute it so brilliantly. That's the perfect strategy to play against the Leeds team. The goals that come from putting pressure on the defenders and then transitioning quickly when they win the ball. You can see all of the goals. If you just went and looked at the goals, every goal, the Leeds defenders are running. The Leicester players are running at the box, and the Leeds defenders are running back. They haven't got the positions yet. They're very good at taking advantage of that. It's probably the one question mark over them really being an established great team in England. That ability to dominate large passages of the play, as opposed to sitting back and breaking. I played my university football. I played with the university here. In the state league, and we were incredible on the counter attack. We were incredible. We'd have 70% of the game in a half, and we win 3-0. We played exactly like Leicester, but we had to learn over a period of time how to keep possession and play the game higher and that sort of thing. Sort of that challenge that Leicester has at the moment.
Yeah, well, that makes sense actually, because you wouldn't be the best on the ball as a keeper, but your shot stopping was what? So you probably take a lot of shots. You probably got a lot of shots against you in a game.
Oh, we had a pretty good defense, but I like the one-on-ones. If you play a low block, generally, if someone plays the ball through, you're one-on-one with the defender.
Yeah.
And I was sort of big in the chest and shoulders and made myself big for one-on-ones and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
as opposed to
Um,
shot stopping. Yeah.
yeah, look, I don't have much to say on the Leicester game, just on the fact that I think this is a blip for Leeds. You know, a side like Leeds go for the win, they go for the jugular. So even losing 2-1, or when they're losing 2-1, 3-1, they keep going, and you're going to concede. So I don't think too much of the type of loss for Leeds. But for me, Leicester, if this time last year they were second, it was like this, oh, Leicester's second, Leicester's third. But now it's like they've arrived and they deserve to be where they are. Rodgers has done a great job.
You say it's a disappointment they didn't make the Champions League last season, and that's probably how far that they've come. Finishing fifth was what's the word, underachievement for them.
Underachievement. I wouldn't say failure. Let's say underachievement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll round this off on we'll round up this chat on the Chelsea game. I think Chelsea's making good strides in the league. Before we get to something else, a little surprise for you, Shyam. So they're kind of getting a bit of momentum. They've scored 16 goals, conceded 9, 12 points. Look, 4 points off the top at this stage is nothing. Very easily surmountable.
Yeah.
They won 3-0. Ziyech is turning out to be a Bruno Fernandes style acquisition.
Yeah.
He's a Matrix level Don. He's a baller, absolute baller.
I like him. Just you watch him for 5 minutes and you're like, I wish that's the guy I play football with. You want to give him the ball. You want to see him doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think that type of player. Like you look at guys like Werner and Pulisic, personality wise, they could probably do a bit more of his personality in terms of taking the game on. So I think having him around will make them better. So I think it's a great thing, like to have him, and then I think he will play very well with Werner once they get used to each other. That combination is something I think is going to be very exciting for Chelsea.
Yeah, he's got I read it that he's very, very humble off the pitch, and he's got this kind of arrogance on the pitch. He just knows how fucking good he is. I like that, and he's got this kind of very punchable face, but I like him.
You'll probably find that Chelsea fans will love him eventually, and everyone outside Chelsea will hate him.
Yeah. And he has, I guess Cantona was like that a little bit, where on the pitch, collars up, chest out, but off the pitch, this kind of artistic professor.
I was thinking, because we're talking about Chelsea, I was thinking a bit sort of Didier Drogba, like quite sort of very humble guy off the pitch, but
aggressive. Didier Drogba literally stopped the Côte d'Ivoire civil war for 3 days. There's nothing humble about that guy. That's the fact. He stopped the war.
Humble about it.
Yeah, he was humble. I was actually watching. I watched the extended highlight replay of the Chelsea Bayern final, and the commentary. And I'm watching back Drogba win the final, and I saw Drogba, as you did as well, obviously, come from Marseille. Was it Marseille? Yeah, it was Marseille. Come from Marseille, this kind of unknown 25 million pound striker, into what is Chelsea's greatest player. Next to Terry, you could say, because Terry is a homegrown boy, but phenomenal. What a game it was, and you could see just the tears. Like as he scores the goal, complete focus, and then he scores the goal and just lets it all out. It's like penalty, kind of 8 years of absolute hard work, and it's come to fruition.
Well, Drogba wasn't one of those kids who started the youth academies and made his way up. He actually came from quite obscure beginnings. Didn't go through any sort of academy structure or anything, and had to work really hard at Marseille. And Abramovich didn't want to buy him because who's this guy? You want me to spend 25 million pounds on who? And Mourinho, there's you can look it up on YouTube, but there's this thing where Mourinho shut up Abramovich and just buy him. It's like
I've seen the video. It's similar to N'Golo Kante as well. Speaking of Chelsea, he was kind of again relatively unknown. The Jamie Vardy is like that kind of player where all they wanted to was. I think Drogba came to Chelsea at 22.
Did you hear the story about how Leicester found Kante?
He's from Saint Etienne, no?
The Leicester sent a scout to a French second division game to look at Riyad Mahrez, and Kante was on the opposition team. So the scout came back and said, "This guy there's Mahrez, but there's another guy called Kante. Maybe have a look at him as well." that scout would have a free job for life, you think?
Oh my god, he's not buying beers at Leicester.
I could be slightly wrong on the facts here, but I believe it was a French second division game, and Kante he started off in the 9th division or something and made his way up to the second. And then, he came.
Unbelievable.
He came from I don't think they bought him directly from the second division club, but they got his eye on him at that time. And then he got into the first division and they bought him I think he bought him for more than Mahrez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because they spent a bit more time. But the first time they found him, they actually went to scout Mahrez and found him on the opposition side. So
Right.
there you go.
Well, all right. So just to round up the games, just give me a second here. So round up the games here. We won't get too in depth into the rest of them. I don't think there's many talking points, but Wolves beat Palace, just like you said, Shyam. I think I picked Palace for this one.
You did.
Everton beat Newcastle. Sorry, Newcastle beat Everton 2-1.
Yeah, Everton didn't look very
Thriller,
good in the game.
Thriller in Villa.
Yeah, they recover. Yeah.
Thriller in Villa. 4-3. I know you like that one. 4-3. Villa's kind of dropped off the pace a bit, so is Everton. Tottenham 2-1. Bale scored the winner. Fulham finally won against West Brom 2-0. Who scored for them? Bobby Reid, and Bobby Reid's still playing. Jesus. And Ola Aina, who that is. Respecter. Fulham's finally kind of kicked off. They're 17th, 2 positions off United. You never know, man. Champions League for Fulham. Who knows?
Yeah.
Something I wanted to talk about, actually, a little bit of current affairs. I thought we could bring a bit of spice to the videos. Ronaldo and Zlatan, both 37 and 39, fought off COVID, and now they've scored on the weekend. I mean, do you think we'll ever see players like Zlatan again?
Well, you're talking about like their ability to recover
And Ronaldo,
COVID,
obviously.
right? So just I don't want to take this too far off topic, but Pogba had it, and it looks like he's still struggling to recover from it. Whereas you look at these guys who are absolute warriors, 37, 39. Is Ronaldo 37? 30?
He's born 85.
Okay, 35,
so,
but
35,
still.
yeah.
Still. But yeah, like their ability to fight it, the ability to just, it's all sort of here, isn't it? Like as much as they are incredible athletes, they know their limitations, they know what they can and can't do. They go and pick the weak points of teams. Just that IQ that they would have, the football IQ would just be absolutely phenomenal.
And I was watching the Milan.
They probably lost a yard of pace, but the strength in the body would just be incredible.
I was watching the Milan derby 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, and then I read an article. I was kind of like analyzing the game, and I was looking at it. And Zlatan now goes and picks on the smallest defender on the team. People are going like, "Oh, he doesn't have it anymore." I'm like, that's just clever. You know, that's experience. Why go pick on if he's playing against Van Dijk, for example? Why go pick on Van Dijk? Go pick on Trent or Robertson.
Gomez or Matip or whoever.
Just for size. I mean, they're both great defenders. Robertson especially, I think he's a great player. But yeah, look, they've changed the games and they're just immense, man. And Ronaldo's come back. Ronaldo has scored against every single Serie A team in the league right now.
And he's played there, 2 years?
2020, yeah. He scored against every single, like, it's in the league. So maybe a team got relegated last year. He didn't. Or maybe he has. Who knows? But that's an incredible stat, man. That's an incredible stat. And Juventus looked a bit lost without him. Those 3 games they won.
19 teams, and he's played 45 games or something, and he scored against. That's a phenomenal stat. Who would have thought that flashy kid who shot up doing step overs and falling on over himself, had to be bullied.
Say that again?
With that kid that shot up at United with the blonde streak in his hair, doing a million step overs and looking quite flash, would just turn into this absolute machine. Like it's just
something I'll never forget, man. I remember I was I think I was in Perth. No, I was in Singapore. And I watched Ronaldo's debut against Bolton. And I actually saw his first goal against Portsmouth. They won 4-1. Roy Keane scored in that game as well. But I remember watching him and just and I remember a few years later, it came out that he said in training to Ruud van Nistelrooy that he wanted to be the best player in the world. And I remember thinking who just goes and says those sort of things? It wasn't, I don't think it was a thing to even say that. I don't think Messi's even come out and said that till his later years, that he knows how good he is. I think he's
the first player that openly said, I want to win the Golden Ball. Everyone normally is like, oh yeah, but he's like, no, I want to win it. I want everyone to see it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a Latin Americans. A lot of Latin Americans have won it of the same, and it's very thing to be quite humble, come from poor beginnings. A lot of them are quite media trained, so they say all these kind of very placid things. But Ronaldo just came out and said, on a separate note altogether, Ryan Giggs last night got arrested.
Who did he sleep with?
No, genuinely, Ryan Giggs got arrested last night. I thought we'd bring this up. Giggs got done. He apparently assaulted his girlfriend.
Oh,
yeah. you could say it both ways, I guess. You know, he finally kind of gets the karma that was coming to him. But it's just, I hope it's not true. I really do. But getting arrested's one thing, you know, like for someone to come to the home and take you on cuffs and all that. Real sad.
As much as he's United great and all that, he's also the current Welsh manager. Like, imagine if Southgate got arrested or something like that. Like, that's a big thing. Jeez.
Straight up, he's one of the faces of Manchester as a city of the world. You know.
Yeah.
I genuinely hope it's not true. I hope it's a misunderstanding. But you know, I just wanted to bring it up. I thought it was big news to bring up, and bring something new to the videos we do. Just bring a bit of kind of current affairs. On that thought, do you have anything else you wanted to bring up, Shyam?
No, not at all. Exciting games in the Champions League this week, and next weekend, some really good fixtures: Everton, United. Who else? Leicester City, Wolves, Man City, Liverpool. Some really exciting games coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look forward to it.
What was your kind of moment of this round just gone?
Moment of this round. I think Liverpool getting the 3 points again, a late goal like they have done when they were winning all those games last year. They were scoring a lot of late goals and getting a lot of points late. So that was a big one. I think as well, like that Southampton Villa game, we touched on it 4-3. It was actually 4-0 at one stage. Like Southampton they were 4-0 up.
4-1. Oh shit! Yeah, it was. You're right. I thought it was 4-1.
They were 4. I think it was like either half time or just after half time they went 4-0 up, and they played really well. Ward-Prowse had 2 beautiful free kicks. I think he had the assist for the first goal as well from a free kick. So if they can get those types of situations, they've got a massive centre back there, some big giant Dutchman or something that scores.
You're talking about Southampton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vestergaard. Sorry.
Vestergaard, yeah. So they can use that a bit more. They'll be dangerous, but probably Liverpool's winner, and Southampton's first half against Villa will probably.
Yeah, no, for me it was Jamie Ward-Prowse putting in free kicks, like he's doing it for fun.
He scored this year, they were saying.
Yeah. It was a great round of fixtures. So I'm looking forward to the next one. Should we wrap up, Shyam?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Go on. Yeah, please. Sorry.
It popped in my head while I was watching that game. Just you reminded me of it. Because people bring up those stats quite often. He scored more free kicks than Letizia. And Letizia is obviously a Southampton legend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about records. I don't know, like in the modern day, if the modern day player is more aware of the records, or that they're being trained to be more efficient, so it's easier for them to obtain records, or I don't know what it is, but there always seems to be records broken by modern day players over absolute club legends. It's an interesting thing. Like you see it, we talked a bit before about like the NBA where Russell Westbrook averages like a triple double. So statistically there, but it's interesting that people talk about Letizia in such high regard, and yet he only scored like 7 free kicks in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. I fucking hate stats. The other day I saw a stat. No player has created more goals this season than this player. And like the player they're talking about had 3 fucking assists. That kind. And the next best was 2. Like it's so insignificant. It doesn't fucking. What matters, right? Is this assist, goals, table position. That's all that matters. That's for me. You can look at United. I think United was a 68% chance on Project 538. I always have a look at the statistical probabilities rather than the odds. I mean, look at that stats. You look at that stats. United was meant to win. United was meant to blow them out of the water. 5-0 apparently. Some people were saying. Sorry, I know you're a numbers guy, Sam, but don't bring that shit here. That shit is weak shit. I'm kidding.
People focus on numbers. Have you seen the Trevor Noah? I think it was a stand-up routine that he does where he talks about like American sports commentators. Like
no.
That's LeBron's second dunk in the quarter, and like every quarter he scores like 2 dunks, and one quarter he got 4 dunks, and then like talk about the economy. Oh, we don't know what's going on with the economy.
I've never seen this.
Going down. Yeah. It's like,
no, I could not agree more. This is his 4th dunk in the 3rd quarter on every Tuesday. Like so derivative. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares? On that note, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Suddy. This is Shyam. We are the 5 Yard Pass podcast. Keep football simple, and as always,
keep passing, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.